Hello, boys and girls. 4th of July weekend is upon us. I hope you're already drunk. Hope you're already full. But you are listening and watching Peter Talks Smackdown. An early video because I had nothing to do tonight and I actually watched Smackdown live. Well, the air taping live, and I figured I'd already just do a video or a recording to review, to show you a review. I mean, blah 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 blah. I can't even talk right, but nevertheless, this is Peter Talks Smackdown. And for those who are listening on SoundCloud and on Stitcher Radio on from your Tumblr feed, thank you so much. And for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you as well. I think this is episode 18 of Peter Talks Smackdown, and I'm very happy with that. If you are curious with the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling podcast review of Monday Night Raw, just go back one video or one audio clip and listen. It's pretty funny, actually. And I just want to go ahead and get this over with because over the past couple of weeks, other than say the Cena challenge and the debut of Kevin Owens and all that crap, the WWE product hasn't left me anything to really desire. I mean, I've been watching it. You know, I watched this show, and it seems like they're in more of a rut right now. It's a couple of decisions that they've made, and a lot of the rotation of the players and injuries and just the mindset of the WWE is very ass backwards. They're not doing anything to entertain the actual wrestling fan at this moment. And it shows in their programming. The fact that Seth Rollins did the opening segment for both this week for both Raw and SmackDown makes absolutely no sense. No sense at all. And the treatment of some of the characters that are on there, I just don't get it. The idea of killing momentum, it's crazy. So this SmackDown review, I'm gonna just kind of run through it, not like a recap, but I'm gonna give you a review, but not as left to desire. So we got SmackDown from Hershey, Pennsylvania, which actually is a really good city for wrestling. Why this is on SmackDown, I don't know. They could have did Hershey on Raw because that crowd is always a really, really good time. If they weren't a good time this time, is because what they got today wasn't really awesome at all. Last week, SmackDown was better than Raw. This week, Raw was better than SmackDown. But on the panel, again, a repeat of last week, we got Jimmy Uso, Tom Phillips, and Jerry the King Lawler. And I like Jimmy. I hope he stays. I think I said Jay last time, but who cares? It's a damn Uso. And he is definitely a breath of fresh air, something different, a good change to the roster. Again, being that he's injured, he doesn't have much to do, and he's on commentary, and he gives a active wrestler's perspective, and I enjoy him. That's probably the only thing I enjoy out of SmackDown. But you got Seth Rollins with J&J, no Kane. I guess he's on his way to Hawaii, and they give the opening segment, and I don't know why. They're opening the segment. Because they opened this segment on Raw with the whole product placement thing. They couldn't have gotten Ryback. They couldn't have gotten, I don't know, Bray Wyatt. They couldn't have gotten the primetime players to just do the opening segment and to build some drama with whatever other feuds that are going on right now, to build towards Battleground. But nope, they went straight to Seth Rollins, and he basically gave, other than say giving away gifts, he basically gave the same promo, and that's the same promo he's been giving every fucking week in different in like different ways. It's the same promo but in different ways. And that's when he's just talking about, he's bragging about how he beat down, how he dismantled the Shield, and how he beat Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, how he beat them down. And that's nothing to it. The guy lacks, whatever they're doing with him, he's lacking a lot of stuff. And one of those things he's lacking most definitely is substance. Like, the kid has no substance at all. He's just a guy with a belt that's bragging about the same thing over and over again. But he basically sets a match with Reigns, and he's talking about how he beat him down, and he doesn't know if he's in the building tonight. So he sets a match with Ambrose against Bray Wyatt. And then he sets a match with Reigns with himself, because he's like, Reigns ain't in the building anyway, so I'm going to set a match with him. Ambrose comes out pissed off. He walks out, then he walks back. He grabs a kendo stick and he clears house. And Rollins, when he scatters, he's like, I'm setting the match with you and Bray Wyatt right now. And you end up with Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose. An old rivalry, one from a year ago, going into, starting from TLC, possibly, something like that. It was when he interrupted the Hell in a Cell match against Rollins, and then they had a feud that extended like 3 pay-per-views that weren't so bad, but Wyatt ended up going over. Hardcore matches at that. And here we are again. I don't know if they faced a couple of more times after that feud end, because they just don't, I don't know. But Bray Wyatt hits hard at a motherfucker. Like, he hits so hard. And Ambrose hits hard too, but not like Wyatt. I think right now, Wyatt, he doesn't hit as hard as Mark Henry, but he hits motherfucking hard. He's like the second hardest hitting dude on the roster. And that's what this match was, just a bunch of hard hits. One in particular was the Nigel McGuinness sort of bounce off the rope that Ambrose does. Dude, Bray Wyatt hit him with one of the craziest clotheslines. He just floored him. And it wasn't that great of a match, but we still got some "this is awesome" chants. And you never really know with SmackDown, because it's like canned crowd noise. And I'm thinking maybe this was part of the canned crowd noise. I just thought it was very, random, that "this is awesome" chants are going off. And nothing much isn't really happening. Either way, the match ends with a momentum shift to Ambrose, and he just kind of goes off. And just like he's done before, in matches against Bray Wyatt, like the television one. The television spot where he grabs a monitor and he's about to smack Bray Wyatt with the monitor and it explodes in his face. He puts himself in situations where he makes himself, as a babyface, look like an idiot, as if he was a heel. So the momentum shifts, he's kind of going crazy. It's like, it's just high momentum Ambrose. He runs outside, runs on top of the announce table, jumps at Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt catches him mid-air and fucking rock bottoms his ass into the barricade. And he rolls his ass into the ring. He gives him to Sister Abigail. And he pins him. 1, 2, 3. That is 3 straight losses for Ambrose. He lost to Kane. He's lost to Rollins. And now he just lost to Bray Wyatt. And this guy was red hot. This guy was fucking red, flaming hot just a couple of weeks ago. During that whole sequence of like 3 pay-per-views within like 6 weeks. He was hot as fire. The people were on his side. He has the belt. He didn't win the belt. He obtained the belt, and he's running through the streets of New Orleans, and just people just love this guy. But they just snatched the rug from right under him. And I don't even know what his purpose is now, because I'm not even sure who he's fighting at Battleground, even if he even had a match so far. But they just destroyed this guy's momentum, and I just don't know what to really think of it. Did he piss in someone's cereal, or is it just a matter of the WWE and they're just fucking like, they're just strung on this idea of not building anyone up high enough to where they will leave the company? And that's where I really draw the line. You look at Punk. Del Rio didn't leave, but he felt that it was alright to smack a guy and step off. Rey Mysterio, all these people who's left, AJ Lee, they don't want that anymore. They don't want that anymore. And this is Vince McMahon. This is all like the old senile Vince McMahon. And if I can point out, a couple of people, but I think the one that stands on the highest of the totem pole when it comes to just a snatching of his momentum to not make him any bigger than what he is Dean Ambrose. And it's quite sad because the crowd wants him. You get Adam Rose versus RTruth. Man, I hate RTruth. If there was one character I wish could just go away, it's the Jigaboo RTruth character. He can wrestle his ass off, but I just can't deal with this shucking and jiving Jigaboo bullshit. And now that he's in a feud with Barrett, and it is a dispute over who's the king of the ring, RTruth is now dressing up in like just some weird around the house stuff. He has a plunger as a scepter. He's wearing a blanket as a cape, and now the cape says "All Hail King Truth," and he's wearing a busted Burger King crown, and and he's just like he oh, snap dance, clap dance, fucking tap dance, sleep and eat type shit, and he's been this character for so long, but I just feel like it's really getting bad. I mean, like, no pun intended, royally bad. And it's hard for me to pay attention to him because he's such an amazing wrestler. The guy's been at it for a while, and he's very seasoned. He's a vet. I bet he has a lot to teach a lot of people. And I imagine if he let go of the shucking and jiving gimmick, that his future is fucking bright. But it just ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen, and we're gonna have to deal with this RTruth until he's done. And he's going up against Adam Rose, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Adam Rose either. Rose and Rosa, which I like to call them, they got this new thing. I guess they've cut back on them like kissing. Ugh. And now they're like rubbing noses like Eskimoses. And it's just the dumbest thing. I think I've spoke too much about this. Truth wins with the lie detector. It's a very short match. And I guess, again, this is just to build his momentum. Barrett has been getting wins over jobbers. Zack Ryder, Jack Swagger. Zack Ryder, Jack Swagger. Damn. Try to say that 3 times fast. And now RTruth gets a win over Adam Rose. And this is the build that they're just going to go. Just giving these guys enhancement guys until they reach Battleground, which isn't a bad idea in theory. But for these two, it just doesn't really amount to anything because they're not anything to really fucking care about. It's not like they need enhancement guys to get over their moves when they get to Battleground. No one fucking cares regardless. Mark Henry versus Ryback. And I hate the way I say this. So far, this is and even more so down the list, but this is a very black, like African American heavy show. Very heavy in the African Americans, which is all good, being that I'm black and all. But it all these black wrestlers don't really amount to anything right now. They're not even given any kind of proper push outside of the primetime players who I think shouldn't have the belts. No one cares. Well, anyway, you got Mark Henry, who's used right now. I think there's more use to a cigarette butt than Mark Henry right now. The guy is still like a believable badass, but for some reason they just won't get behind him anymore, and he's jobbing out to everybody. And the story in this match is that Ryback wants to get Mark Henry up for the shell shock. They show the .com review of him saying that how he has to get through Mark Henry with the shell shock. Mark Henry's backstage. He disrespected me. He has my name in his mouth, and I'm gonna leave a bitter taste. Blah blah blah. They get out there. They have a decent match, I guess, and he's trying to pick him up several times, and he fails. But he finally gets him in a suplex. He hits him with a meat hook, and then after jumping out of a World's Strongest Slam, Ryback finally hoists Mark Henry up for the shell shock, and he wins. And that's another job for Mark Henry, which really angers me. I'm happy that Ryback is getting a push, this momentum push as of late. But nevertheless, they're not going to do anything with him, so why would anyone care that he got this win over Mark Henry? Brie Bella with Alicia Fox versus Nyomi. More African American workers. Okay, again, Hurricane Bella, Hurricane Nikki, and Hurricane Brie. More so Hurricane Nikki with the belt. But ain't no one doing shit until that title reign is up. The length of Nikki Bella's title reign. And everyone in her path is to be laid waste. And now you have Nyomi, who was a formidable foe only a couple of weeks ago, and now is jobbing out. You got Fox on the outside. Nikki's not with them. It's just Brie and Fox, because this is Team Bella all of a fucking sudden. There's a moment where there's a cat and mouse chase outside of the ring, and Brie sort of lures Nyomi towards Alicia Fox, who swings at her with a fucking clothesline. She ducks it, which results in Brie Bella getting a good lick in to take her out. And I go, is Alicia Fox going to get thrown out for that kind of interference? It does not happen. And then right at the end, oh man, it's so painful. And right at the end, just when Nyomi was going to pick up some momentum, she ran the ropes, and just a simple swipe of the foot by Fox to make Nyomi lose her footing. Brie Bella gets the face plant and the win. And Nyomi, I don't know why Tamina wasn't out there, and then you had Jimmy out there who was very unbiased that the fact that his wife is in this match and outnumbered to a certain degree. I don't know what to say about this next. Prime time. Speaking of next, primetime players versus the Ascension. And again, the primetime players, the reason why they have the belt is beyond me. Again, it's to kill the momentum of the New Day, who are getting bigger than life. And the WWE is like, no, 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 not in my house. Not in my house show. And they gave the belts to the primetime players. They're going up against the Ascension, who just, I thought in Elimination Chamber was going to do some work, because they showcased a bit amount of ability in that, but nope. They're doing the job to the primetime players. Nothing at all about this match stands out. And O'Neal gets the Titus O'Neal gets the hot tag, and he also gets the pin with a modified spine buster. That's what my note says right there. I don't get it. The primetime players will be meeting the New Day at Battleground for the tag team championships. I only and pray to God hope that the New Day get them back. They haven't been doing too well recently either, but they still have heat. That's all I'm going for. As much as I hated that gimmick, and because they were stalling the storyline of what the New Day was to become, they finally pulled the trigger, and then they shot themselves in the foot. The Plaxico Barris. That's exactly what fucking happened. They shot themselves right in the foot as soon as they pulled the trigger on a positive heel tandem, which is the New Day, and all the possibilities of, say, Kofi Kingston winning the Money in the Bank, which is on Sheamus' stupid ass. I predicted him, but I thought they would at least try something. But he's not even a threat. I don't know. It's just not good. We get basically the other side of the coin of the relationship fatal four-way between Lana and Ziggler and Rusev and Summer Rae. Lana and Ziggler got their time, even though it was interrupted by Ray and Rusev. Rosa, Ray and Rusev. Oh well. But this is just straight up Summer Rae and Rusev just doing their promo right here, right now. And Rusev shuts everyone up because Summer Rae has to speak. And Summer Rae makes a backhanded apology to Lana. And she makes a comment about Rusev being a good guy, and Lana's loss is my gain. And then Rusev starts to talk. And he basically, it's so funny. He calls Summer Rae a real woman. She knows when she's supposed to speak, and that she knows her place. And as soon as he says that, the look that Summer Rae has on her face is classic material. Probably the only part of the show that made me react somehow. That look on her face. If you haven't seen this segment yet, when he go and watch that segment, and the look on her face when he says that Lana knows her place, again, you will probably laugh so fucking hard. And then they start screaming, the crowd starts screaming, "We want Lana." And he makes a comment like, "I have a better Lana. I have a new Lana." And it's like just cutting Summer Rae down, and she's just taking it like a champ. And then he basically shoots on Ziggler, and that ends that segment. And Jesus, we're in the main event with Rollins versus Reigns, and they don't know yet. Through the show, they're like, "Whoa, is Reigns in the building?" After that beatdown he took on Monday, he gives him to the count of 10, and he arrives. He walks through the crowd. He's selling the beating. He looks a little sore. Looks like a little war torn, and he gets in the ring and he fights, and he I guess he's holding his own, but you get some Joey Mercury involvement, a lot, and after that the momentum shifts back and forth, and it ends. The match ends with Mercury attacking Reigns before he could put the Superman punch on Rollins, which results in a DQ. Ambrose runs out with a kendo stick, and then he's beating the shit out of everyone. He clears house again. And then he put a Superman punch to Rollins, because somehow Rollins gains something, and he has Ambrose in the pedigree. And then he get met with a Superman punch. J&J rolls Rollins out of there and tries to escape. For the escape. But Noble makes it over the barricade. Rollins makes it over the barricade. Mercury does not make it over the barricade in time, which results into a killing, a mugging, a lynching of Mercury. And Ambrose and Reigns, they kill Mercury. Those bastards. And that's how SmackDown ends. Nothing to the imagination. Nothing. I mean, I go over this shit. Rollins is still facing Brock Lesnar for the belt. Reigns is facing Wyatt. He's going to get the win. Rusev and Summer Rae are a couple, and he's going to be that much more, chauvinistic in this relationship. Primetime players have no momentum. Bella's, oh God. Ryback is probably the only person that got any kind of real momentum in this. Ambrose, he's a chump. Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, that's SmackDown for you. I wish I had more positive things to say. Last week was more positive things to say because it was a better show. But again, it flipped around. There's nothing left to imagination. No stories got pushed. No nothing. It resembled some, I guess, with RTruth, with again Summer Rae and Rusev, but nothing else. Nothing the fuck else. And I have nothing. Other than the fact that, like, yeah, it really goes to show with the idea of momentum. The idea of momentum and the fact that we're not going to get any more superstars for quite some time, if not ever again. I said this in the last podcast, the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling podcast, of the review of last Monday night's Raw, is that it's going to take someone to die in order for things to change. And as long as you got a very stubborn, old-fashioned, fucking idiot owner and Vince McMahon and the goons around him and his stupid daughter and his goof of a fucking son-in-law as his yes men and women, this product is not going to get any better. It's just not. We're almost halfway through the year, and we're not even at the starting blocks of what's to come next WrestleMania, because it's just going to be Rock, Brock, fucking Undertaker, Sting, maybe a bunch of old dudes. It's going to be everyone else but this roster that they just refuse to get behind. Wow. It's amazing. Follow me on Twitter, Ellen Japanese, LINJAPAE God, maybe because I'm tired. LINJAPANESE. That's Twitter, that's SoundCloud, that's Instagram, and that's Snapchat. I got a couple of follows today. Surprisingly, I got a follow from China, of all people. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I noticed that last week's SmackDown was probably the highest one. It was like 30 views on SoundCloud. I thought that was pretty awesome. That's the most I've ever gotten for a SmackDown review, and I think like 10 on YouTube. So those who are checking it out and sharing and liking and all that stuff and subscribing, I really do appreciate it. Keep them coming, man. It's going to be almost a year of me just doing wrestling podcasts in general with Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. SummerSlam would be an entire year. This is episode 18, but nevertheless, I'm trying to build some momentum here. And if you like what I'm saying and if you enjoy, again, like, subscribe, hit the button below if you're watching on YouTube. And thank you. Leave a comment. Shoot a tweet to me. Ask me a question or something. I'll definitely shoot your question, answer back. Until then, enjoy. Is there anything else? Yeah, PJTW Central. I'm an idiot. I'm tired. PJTW Central is the Twitter account where I do exclusive wrestling tweets live and so forth. PJTWCentral.com is the place to go to find all the things Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling related. Archives and everything. So subscribe, like, blah, 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 blah. And again, we're out of here. Have a great, safe 4th of July weekend. America!